to tell all of you congratulations. Last week, on April the 8th, otherwise known as Tax Freedom Day here in Missouri, you finally made enough money to pay all of your state and federal income tax. That's right, from New Year's Day, January 1, until last Monday, you may as well have signed over every dime of every paycheck to Uncle Sam. I remember my first paycheck. My first job was in a movie theater when I was in high school. I saw the amount in the gross column and thought I had hit the jackpot. Wow, I think I can get used to this working thing. I was so excited that I showed my dad. He quickly corrected me by showing me the net column. Well, let's just say that the net column is not nearly as much fun as the gross column. The total tax bill, both state and federal, is $4.22 trillion. April 18th is when 29.4% of the year is passed. It's a lot of numbers and it's confusing, but what is not confusing is keeping all of your paycheck. That makes every day Tax Freedom Day. President Obama loves to talk about everyone paying their fair share, everyone having skin in the game, but how can everyone pay their fair share when Mitt Romney got it right, that 47% of Americans pay no taxes? That's what the fair tax does. It makes everyone pay their fair share. Everyone really does have skin in the game. I wanted to talk today about personal freedom. We're seeing so many of our freedoms in jeopardy right now. Our freedom to keep and bear arms is under attack. Obamacare will be the mother of attacks on personal freedom. And as someone who works in the healthcare field, I can tell you that people have no idea what's in store for them. Under the fair tax, you have the freedom to purchase the goods and services, new and used, that you want. Personal freedom comes in many forms. If you're a small business owner, you know all too well the staggering amount of government regulation suffocating you. So much of that suffocation comes in the form of business taxes. The fair tax lowers the cost of your products by removing those taxes. I am certainly no business expert, but doesn't lower costs mean more customers buying your products? And that kind of takes me right back to that paycheck. What better example of personal freedom than more disposable income? We're all working today in the hopes of having financial security for our later years. Personal freedom for our senior citizens could come in the form of more secure funding for Social Security and a larger and more stable tax base for Medicare. One of the things that President Obama is also quite good at is distraction. He knows that if we keep talking about gun control, which is important, and gay marriage, then we won't be talking about jobs or the lack of them. The March jobs report stated that only 88,000 jobs were created, but the really sobering number is 90 million. That is how many people have simply stopped looking for work. A paycheck is definitely personal freedom, but even more personal freedom is having a job. The fair tax will create jobs. The Made in America label will have meaning again because our products will be more competitive. We all remember then Vice Presidential candidate Joe Biden lecturing us that paying more taxes, especially for wealthier Americans, was our patriotic duty. Is this the same Joe Biden that just spent $1.3 million for one night stay in Paris, a second night in London, and limo service, all on the taxpayer dime? I gotta say, I'm not feeling very patriotic about that. What would make me feel patriotic would be for foreign businesses to look to America as the place to invest. The fair tax does this by adding billions of dollars to our economy. Earlier, I spoke of Obamacare and how it would be the blueprint for more government infringement in our lives. As the current tax system has become bigger and more complicated, the IRS has become one of the most powerful and intrusive entities ever. Everyone has heard horror stories from family, friends, and coworkers, how IRS agents have harassed them, garnished their wages, and levied all sorts of unwarranted fees, fines, and even shown up on their doorstep, all in an attempt to collect taxes. Many times, those tax bills are the result of some error by a government employee. Even the misplacement of a decimal point has caused years of nightmarish behavior endured by American taxpayers at the hands of the IRS. The fair tax would eliminate the IRS and all of the thug tactics that seem to accompany them. The unemployment rate may jump up a point or two, but if it means the purging of thousands of government employees, most Americans are no doubt willing to live with that. The elimination of the IRS is a twofold bonus, as it is also the enforcement wing of Obamacare. That move could very well render universal health care inoperable or at the very least severely crippled. Before I go, I just wanted to acknowledge the passing of Margaret Thatcher. Ironically enough, on Tax Freedom Day. She was such a warrior for conservatism and for free markets. She almost single-handedly pulled Great Britain from the brink of socialism. Her love of country was unmatched, and she did things and made decisions that perhaps were not popular at the time, but have impact still today, not only on the British economy, but the world. She knew that capitalism and low taxes would lead to prosperity. She once said, "There can be no liberty unless there is economic liberty." How right she was. I would encourage everyone to support H.R. 25, the fair tax bill. It is simple for all, it is fair for all, and because ultimately, in the words of Lady Thatcher, our aim is to make tax collecting a declining industry. Thank you very much.